everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to do DIY Dollar Tree Farmhouse wall sconces. These really cute. We're going to make two for $5. You're going to need two of these cutting boards. They were gifted to me. Thank you, Melody. I love them. One of these garden trellises. I love that they're black. That's my favorite now. And then two wall hanging mason jars. You can get them at the Dollar Tree. I'm actually going to opt for the short ones. We're also going to use some sawtooth hangers, and I'm just showing you the options of where I got mine from. And you're going to need your drill and screw gun and a glue gun. But we're really just going to use the drill bit, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So other than drilling at an angle, which I'll teach you how to do, there's not any huge skill to this. What we're going to do is we're going to cut off the two curlicues on the outsides of this fence. As you can see here, I've just taken a wire cutter and I have just rolling it back and forth in the spot, sort of how we cut flowers with our scissor. But this wire is a little bit thicker than the floral wire, so we're going to go ahead and do that with a wire cutter. There is a little tiny nub at the bottom there, you can see. We're going to end up cutting that off, so when you cut it, cut above that nub. I know nub is a real weird word, but you only need to have it be a few inches just for support. As long as you can get right above that nub, you'll be okay. But you can see here, I've actually left it, but we're going to end up cutting it off. That's what I'm saying. So you're going to need one of these little hooks. Look, it looks like a pretty hook now for each wall sconce that you make. And of course, one cutting board for each wall sconce that you make. Now, if you decide to hang long mason jars, they will hang below the wood, but that's okay. Sometimes when you buy them in the store, that's the way they look anyways. That's sort of the look that you go for. But what I'm doing here is I'm making sure I have two similar colored cutting boards, because I actually didn't at first, and I just wanted them to be more matchy-matchy. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a ruler and I'm measuring 1/2 inch down from the top, and I'm measuring in the middle of the sides, which for me was just under 6 inches, so my mark was just at just before, like 1/16 of an inch before 3 inches. So if I told you 2 and 15/16, you guys get it, from the end of the board. And then I'm going to do this on both sides. I know there's measuring involved. Hold on, people. I mean, you'll see that there's measuring involved, but actually we technically end up not needing that. But you want to make sure that you do this on the back side. If you have a pretty side to your board and an ugly side to your board, do it on the ugly side. Okay. Because you also, could stain it at this point if you wanted to, or whitewash it. That's absolutely entirely up to you. What we're going to do is we're going to take one of the boards and we're going to take our hook and we're going to lay it on the side just at the front of the board at the 1/2 inch mark. We're going to lay our hook on the side to measure that angle of where the hook comes around, okay? And we're going to kind of try to screw at that angle. This isn't an exact precise situation. We're just going to sort of, I don't want to say freehand, but we're not using a jig or anything to get that exact angle. But you don't really need it. This board is not very thick, and the hook does have some sort of flexibility, but you definitely want it to be at an angle or you'll have difficulty with it sitting properly, okay? So now what we're going to do, because we need that 1/2 inch mark to be in the front and we need the hook to come at the bottom of the angle in the back of the board, is I'm taking my ruler and using like my straight edge where the angled line is at its lowest point. We're going to mark it across the back. We're just going to take the ruler, line it up with that bottom mark, and go straight across, and at that middle point we're going to mark a second marking of how deep we need that to be. I know that sounds very complicated. It really isn't. All we're doing is making sure that we have our hook coming out at the point that we want it to be, so that it's in at the point that we want it to be, okay? So again, I've just taken the drill bit and I've gone from that point, the second mark that we made, and we're drilling up. When you want to drill at an angle, you always want to start your drill bit straight up and down to create sort of a divot Otherwise, your drill bit could skip across the surface of whatever you're trying to drill. So you do is you want to drill straight down to give it a little tiny divot, and once you have that divot created, then you go ahead and angle your drill in the angle that you want to do it, and then you go ahead and drill that way. All right. Now, I know if you're new to drilling, or if you are not experienced with a drill bit and you don't have somebody there who could help you, then this project is not going to be as easy. You could always mount the hook on the front with some sort of strapping. That would be okay. You could also just drop the hook behind the back and maybe put the sawtooth hanger around it, just as another option. But I just wanted to give you guys the really, I don't want to say the right way to do it, but the way that I would do it, the way I've chosen to do it. Okay. Now, I am stealing the sawtooth hangers from the back of these two little frames. I bought these two little art frames. One I'm going to do a DIY with. The other one I gave Jimmy for his office desk. And we've opted to just stand them in our house. They do give you an option of standing or hanging. And they both come with sawtooth hangers. I didn't say that you needed these in the price because for a few reasons. First of all, these were basically extra in my house. If you have something where you can steal the sawtooth hanger from, you can go ahead and do that. You also can buy kits at the hardware store that just sell them, and they really are for like pennies. But for me, that they were free. That's why I did not include them in the $5 for 2 sconces price. Okay? And if you've never worked with a sawtooth hanger, usually they're on with 2 tiny screws. You can also add glue to them if you want to double up your strength, but I never found it necessary. All right. And I'm using this miniature screwdriver. They do sell the miniature screwdrivers at the Dollar Tree. This isn't one from the Dollar Tree. This is one that we have here actually we got it at Workforce, I think is Lowe's, I think. But I'm basically just unscrewing and screwing. The second one, I will show you that if you use the drill bit, you can pre-drill a little bit into the back. But you want to be careful because these are very, very tiny screws. So unless you have a micro drill bit, I wouldn't bother doing that. All right, but they do take a little bit of effort, as you can see here, and some time. Patience, time, and effort. So like I was saying, if you don't have a drill and you wanted to achieve this look, you can go ahead and glue the whole hook across the back and add this sawtooth hanger kind of straddling the hook, and that will help with its stability. All right, but I'll show you in a second how we're going to give the stability to the bottom. So with the sawtooth hangers, these 2 boxes I told you were the same. So with the sawtooth hangers, there are other ways you can get D-rings off of items. D-rings are sort of, they look just like that. They look like a little circle, triangle, or D-shaped ring with 2 little screws that you can use for hangers as well. If you use just one unadjustable hanger, want to make sure that you get your balance correct before you go ahead and add it. Okay? That's my last tip about hangers, I promise. All right. Now we're going to add them to our project. This one I'm showing you, I'm pre-drilling. I do have sort of a micro drill bit on there. So that's just making this one a little bit easier. You saw the first one took quite a bit of time. But I didn't pre-drill all the way because I'm not worried about splitting with these tiny screws. I've just pre-drilled to help me get this screw started. And once you have one side screwed in, go ahead and use it for the next side. What I like the best about sawtooth hangers with something weighted like this is that they are repositionable. So you can move it over and adjust it accordingly. But I still try to get them in the center of your project, just to make it that much easier. All right. So now that the hanger's on there, we can go ahead and feed the back in and attach the back. What I'm doing is I'm putting the hook through, and then I'm laying the board down and pressing really hard, and that's going to help flatten out that hook in the back a little bit better than its natural curve wants to be. I've just added some Gorilla Hot Glue, but you can use regular hot glue. That's what I had it in the glue gun at the time. I've just added some Gorilla Hot Glue across the bottom of the hook, and then I'm going to add a tiny bit of craft stick, or really it could be anything, but anything that you put across there, even like a piece of the cardboard that we've cut from like other ribbons and stuff would work. It's just to help spread the glue and give it just a tiny bit of extra strength. And you're not going to see the back anyway, so whatever you put back there is fine. All right, and you could glue the whole thing if you wanted to. I didn't find that necessary. I'm just gluing across the bottom. All right. And then you really should wait for this to really be set up. I actually let it sit for about 20 minutes before I hung them on the wall, because I didn't want to add any weight to the hook while the glue could still be soft, even in the slightest. All right. I did try another technique with an eye hook back there, but it actually made them stand away from the wall too much. So I went ahead and I just did this for both of them. And here's how they look side by side. And you can see that they're pretty sturdy. So hopefully you really enjoyed this tutorial. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. These are the jars, the dollar jars that I decided to put on there from the Dollar Tree. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments down below. Don't forget to share this video with friends and family. Anybody you know might be interested in making these for their home. And if you haven't yet, click subscribe, and when you do, a little bell will pop up. When you ring that bell, YouTube will let you know whenever I upload a new video. And as always, guys, take care, God bless, and we'll see you next time. Bye!